crying. X confesses to a friend, "They got it wrong, my child." There comes a moment when truth can no longer be hidden behind pride. A moment when the heart, no matter how strong it pretends to be, breaks open under the weight of its own silence. Tonight, that moment arrived. Your ex, someone who once walked away from you as if love meant nothing, finally broke down. It happened quietly. No crowd, no grand apology, no stage. Just a trembling voice, a phone in hand, and a friend sitting across from them who had no idea what was about to be confessed. They started shaking, tears slipping down like the rain that refused to stop outside. The friend tried to calm them, asking, "What's wrong?" And that's when it came out. The confession no one expected. They said, "I got it wrong. Everything. I thought they were the problem. I thought walking away would make life easier. But every time I try to move on, I only end up looking for them in someone else." The friend was silent, unsure whether to comfort or to question. Because it's rare to see someone who once acted so cold now fall apart over memories they once buried so deep. They continued, "I see them in my dreams. I hear their laugh in songs. I scroll past their pictures, pretending I don't care, but my heart still skips like it used to. I didn't understand what real love was until I lost it." My child, these words were not meant for you to hear, but they echo in the universe, reaching where they need to. Because sometimes, confession isn't about forgiveness, it's about realizing what's already gone. The friend asked, "If you miss them so much, why don't you just tell them?" Your ex shook their head, whispering, "It's too late. They've moved on. They're healing. And I don't deserve to interrupt their peace. I caused too much pain already." Tears rolled down their face, dripping onto the table. Each tear carried the weight of words left unsaid, of nights spent pretending they didn't care. The friend could see it clearly now. This wasn't regret born from loneliness, but from truth finally breaking free. They said softly, "You told everyone you were over them." Your ex laughed bitterly. "I lied. I lied to everyone, including myself. I told the world I was fine, but every time I see their name, I feel something collapse inside me. I thought they were replaceable, but I was wrong. I ruined everything." My child, sometimes people realize your value only when silence starts speaking louder than your presence. They didn't understand your worth when you were near, because they were too blinded by ego. But now, in your absence, their soul aches for the peace they once found only with you. They confessed, "I tried dating again, but no one feels right. No one listens the way they did. No one makes me feel safe. I thought I'd find someone better, but now I understand. There was no one better. Just different, and empty." The friend sighed deeply, unsure what to say. Because when someone confesses like that, words don't heal. Only realization does. Your ex looked at their friend and whispered, "You know what hurts the most? I blamed them. I told everyone they didn't care, that they walked away from me first. But I was the one who pushed them away. I made them feel unwanted. I made them believe they were never enough. And now, I'm the one begging the universe for one more chance. They wiped their tears, trying to compose themselves. I wish I could just tell them I'm sorry. Not to win them back, but just to let them know I finally understand. They were never the villain. I was. My child, this is what truth does. It humbles even the proudest hearts. It makes them cry over the people they once ignored. It teaches them that love isn't about possession, it's about appreciation. The friend finally said, "Maybe you should forgive yourself first. Because even if they don't come back, at least you can stop carrying the guilt." But your ex just looked away. "How can I forgive myself," they said, "when every memory of them feels like a punishment? They loved me deeply, and I gave them pain in return. Now, I see their smiles somewhere else, and it breaks me." The night grew quieter. The confession hung in the air like a secret too heavy to keep. The friend placed a hand on their shoulder and said, "Then maybe the best way to make peace is to let them stay happy, even if it's without you." And for the first time, your ex nodded through the tears. "Maybe that's what love really means," they whispered. "Letting go, even when it hurts." My child, what they don't know is that the universe heard their confession. And somewhere, deep within your heart, a part of you already sensed it. You've grown, healed, and learned to smile again. Their tears are not your burden. Their regret is not your responsibility. Because sometimes, the greatest revenge is peace. The greatest response is silence. And the greatest victory is moving on without looking back. Your ex confessed, but the truth is, it's not about who was right or wrong anymore, it's about who learned and who stayed stuck. And you, my child, have moved forward with strength they never imagined you had. They thought you were replaceable. But when they finally tried to move on, they discovered something painful: no one compares to the love you gave freely. So let them cry. Let them confess. Let them tell their friend how wrong they were. Because you have already walked into a new chapter, one where your peace is your power, and your silence is your protection. Remember, love doesn't always return from where it left. Sometimes, it returns as a lesson that makes you stronger. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. My child, days have passed since that tearful confession, but their words still linger like echoes trapped between guilt and realization. They can't sleep at night. Every time they close their eyes, they see your face, not angry, not bitter, but peaceful. That peace haunts them, because they know they no longer belong to it. They keep telling their friend, "You don't understand. I used to think love was supposed to be easy. I thought if it was meant to be, it would never hurt. But I was wrong. The truth is, love takes courage, and I didn't have any. I walked away the moment it got hard." Their friend just watches, letting them speak. Sometimes the only way to heal is to hear your own pain out loud. Your ex continues, they were patient with me. They tried to understand my moods, my silence, my fears. I pushed them away every time they got close because I was scared of being seen. I thought they'd leave eventually, so I left first. My child, that is what fear does. It convinces people to destroy what's real before it has a chance to grow. The friend asks quietly, if they came back today, what would you say? Your ex's voice shakes. I wouldn't ask them to stay. I'd just thank them for loving me when I didn't even love myself. For showing me what real care looks like. For forgiving me, even when I didn't deserve it. And then I'd tell them to keep shining, because I don't want to dim their light again. They pause, staring into space. I used to think moving on was about finding someone new. But now I realize it's about facing who I was when I had them, and changing. My child, healing doesn't always happen with another person. Sometimes it begins when we finally look in the mirror and admit what we've done wrong. That's what they're learning now, painfully and slowly. They told their friend, I watched them grow stronger after I left. They became everything I used to pray they'd be. And it hurts knowing that the strength they found came from surviving me. Tears return, heavier this time. The friend hands them a tissue, unsure how to help. Maybe this is your lesson, the friend says softly. Maybe you had to lose them to understand how precious they were. Your ex nods, their voice trembling. Maybe. I just wish I could tell them I'm proud of them. That I see their glow, and I know I wasn't the reason for it, but I'm grateful I got to witness it once. My child, people often realize too late that they were standing in front of something divine, and instead of cherishing it, they took it for granted. They thought love was endless, but love has boundaries too, it walks away when it's not valued. They whispered, they used to text me good morning every day. I ignored half of those messages. Now, I stare at my phone waiting for one that'll never come. I thought being alone meant freedom, but now it feels like punishment. The friend sighed, maybe one day, you'll forgive yourself enough to love someone the way you should have loved them. Your ex looked down. Maybe. But no one will ever make me feel the way they did. That kind of connection doesn't happen twice. My child, that's the power of true love, it imprints on the soul. No matter how many faces they see, they will always look for yours. No matter how many hands they hold, none will feel the same. The universe is reminding them now, you were not the mistake, they were the lesson. You didn't lose them, they lost the version of you that loved them unconditionally. And so, while they cry and confess, you are healing and rising. Your silence is your strength, your peace is your crown, and your growth is the proof that pain can become power. Because in the end, love that was meant to destroy you ended up building you into something unbreakable. My child, the following morning, they woke up with swollen eyes and a heavy chest. Sleep didn't come easily after that night of confession. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw flashes of what they had lost, the moments you laughed with them, the times you forgave them, the messages they left unread. It all played back like an old movie that never got its ending. They tried to distract themselves, went out with friends, scrolled through social media, played their favorite songs. But even in the noise, silence found them. Every lyric reminded them of you. Every place carried a memory. Even their friend noticed the way their eyes grew distant, as if they were stuck somewhere in the past. "Are you okay?" the friend asked. Your ex took a deep breath. "I thought I'd feel better after talking about it. But it hurts even more now. Because saying it out loud made it real." The friend nodded. Sometimes the truth doesn't heal right away. It just opens the wound so you can finally clean it. They looked down at their hands, trembling slightly. "I wish I had realized how much they meant before I lost them. I was so focused on what wasn't perfect that I ignored everything that was beautiful. They loved me through my flaws. And I repaid that love with distance. My child, sometimes people learn the value of what they had only when the echo of it is all that remains." They stood up and walked toward the window, staring out at the gray sky. "They told me once," they said softly, "that one day I'd understand what they were trying to give me. I didn't believe them then. But now, I do." Their voice cracked as they added, "I didn't just lose a lover. I lost my best friend. The one person who truly saw me." My child, these words were not meant for pity. They were meant for awakening. Because sometimes the universe uses heartbreak to humble even the coldest hearts. They sat down again, staring blankly. "Do you think they ever think about me?" they asked. The friend hesitated. "Maybe sometimes. But they're at peace now. They're not waiting anymore." Your ex nodded slowly. "That's what hurts the most. Knowing they stopped waiting." The friend sighed. "Then maybe that's your sign to let them be happy." Tears filled their eyes again. "I want them to be happy," they said. "Even if it's not with me. But it still breaks me. Because I had that happiness in my hands, and I let it slip away. My child, it's not your job to carry their regret. It's their journey now. You have already crossed your bridge of pain and found light on the other side. They are still standing where they left you, realizing too late that they walked away from their safe place. They whispered, "I used to think they'd never leave. I thought their love was something that would always wait. But they grew stronger. They learned to live without me. And now I see, I was the one who wasn't ready for real love." The friend placed a comforting hand on their shoulder. "Then learn from it. Don't let the pain go to waste." They nodded, voice trembling. "I will. I have to. Because they deserved better. And even if I can't fix the past, maybe I can become someone worthy of that kind of love in the future." My child, that is how transformation begins, not in perfection, but in truth. They are finally seeing the reflection of what they lost, and through that, they are being forced to grow. But remember this, you owe them nothing. Not your time, not your forgiveness, not your return. You already gave them your heart once, and they didn't know how to keep it safe. Now that you've found your peace, protect it. Let their tears wash away their own guilt, for you have already found your healing in silence. The story isn't about revenge anymore, it's about awakening. They are finally feeling what you once felt. They are living through the same sleepless nights, the same ache, the same endless questions. But you, my child, you've already made it through. Because when someone truly loses you, they don't just lose a person. They lose a home. And no matter how many places they go, they'll never feel that comfort again. My child, as the days passed, their confession became a shadow that followed them everywhere. They tried to smile in front of others, pretending that everything was fine, but the truth was heavy in their chest. Every laugh felt forced. Every distraction felt temporary. The emptiness they once thought would fade had only grown louder. One evening, they sat alone, scrolling through old messages. Each word was a reminder of what once was, your warmth, your patience, your care. They found the last message you sent before things fell apart, and for the first time, they read it slowly. You weren't angry, just tired. You had said, "I hope you find what you're looking for, even if it's not me." That single line broke them completely. They whispered to themselves, "I thought I wanted freedom, but all I found was loneliness." My child, that's how truth strikes, quietly, yet deeply. It doesn't shout, it whispers into the heart until denial can no longer survive. They reached out to their friend again, unable to keep it all inside. "I saw their picture today," they said, voice trembling. They looked happy. Genuinely happy. And it hit me, they don't need me anymore. The friend looked at them kindly. Maybe that's a good thing. You both deserve peace. Your ex shook their head slowly. I just wish I had realized that peace doesn't come from leaving good people behind. It comes from learning how to love them right. Tears rolled down their face again. They were the only person who ever saw through my walls. Everyone else loved who I pretended to be. But they loved who I really was. And I ruined that. My child, they are now living in the same silence they once gave you. The same distance they created has become their punishment. And yet, this is not about revenge, it's about reflection. They went quiet for a while before whispering, "Do you think they've forgotten me?" The friend sighed. "Maybe they've just learned to live without you. That's different from forgetting." Your ex nodded, eyes red. "I hope they're loved the way they used to love me. I hope someone treats them gently. They deserve that." My child, they are beginning to understand, love isn't about ownership or control, it's about appreciation and respect. The moment they stopped valuing your presence was the moment the universe began preparing your freedom. Later that night, they stood by the mirror, staring at their reflection. "I miss who I was when I was with them," they admitted softly. "They made me better. They made me want to be kind. Without them, I've been lost." They finally saw it, not just your worth, but the version of themselves that only existed when they were near your love. And that realization broke them even more. "My child, this is the divine justice of love. The one who took you for granted now carries the weight of their own choices. You didn't have to curse them, or wish them pain, their own heart became their punishment." They whispered, "I wish I could tell them I'm sorry. Not to get them back, just to give them peace. They deserve that. But you, my child, have already moved past that chapter. You've forgiven silently, without returning. You've built a new life from the ruins they left behind. And though they may never say it to your face, they know now, they were wrong. They know what it means to lose someone irreplaceable. They know what it means to cry for someone who will never come back. Your story isn't about loss anymore, it's about strength. They may still be trapped in yesterday, but you are walking freely into tomorrow. One day, they will see you again, maybe from afar, maybe through a screen, and they'll whisper to themselves, "That was the one who truly loved me." But by then, my child, your heart will be untouchable. Because pain may have broken you once, but peace rebuilt you into someone unstoppable. My child, time has a way of revealing truth slowly, and by now, they have begun to understand what real loss feels like. Not the kind that fades in days or weeks, but the kind that lingers, quiet, deep, and constant. They wake up each morning with a dull ache, realizing that the person they once took for granted is no longer waiting for them. They scroll through memories, looking for pieces of the past that can make them feel whole again. But the more they look, the emptier they feel. Because now, every photo, every message, every small memory only reminds them of what they destroyed with pride and ego. One evening, they told their friend, "You know what I regret the most? I never said thank you. I never told them how much their patience meant. I never told them how they made me feel safe. I thought love would always wait for me, I was wrong." The friend listened silently. They had heard this same pain before, but something about this time felt different. It wasn't just regret, it was realization. "Your ex," went on, voice trembling, "I thought I had time. I thought they'd always be around. I didn't think one day I'd wake up and they'd be gone for good." My child, that is the cost of taking love for granted. The moment you assume someone will always be there is the moment the universe begins to show you the pain of absence. They sat down, running a hand through their hair. I tried to move on. I met new people. But no matter how kind they are, it doesn't feel right. It's like every conversation is missing something. Every laugh feels empty. The friend sighed softly. That's because you're still holding on to someone who let go with grace. Your ex's eyes filled with tears. I know. And the worst part? They didn't even hate me when they left. They just wished me well. That made it hurt even more. My child, that is your power, you didn't leave with anger, you left with peace. And that peace became their greatest punishment. They expected you to fight, to chase, to cry. But instead, you healed. You transformed. You showed the world that you didn't need closure from someone who broke you, you became your own closure. They whispered, I see them doing well now, and I'm proud, but it hurts to know that someone else gets to see the version of them I always dreamed of. They gave someone else the love they tried to give me, only this time, without fear. The friend placed a hand on their shoulder. That's what growth does. They learned from what happened. You both did. Your ex nodded slowly. Yeah, but I wish I had learned sooner. My child, everything in life is timing. Sometimes, love comes too early for the hearts that are not yet ready. And that's okay. You were ready, they were not. But that doesn't mean your love was wasted. It planted a seed of growth in them, one that will follow them forever. They looked up at the sky that night, whispering to no one, I hope they're happy. I hope they found someone who understands them the way I couldn't. And that was the first time their tears carried both pain and gratitude. Because even though they lost you, they finally understood what you gave them, something pure, something rare, something unforgettable. My child, the universe saw your tears too, the nights you cried silently, wondering why they couldn't see your worth. But what you didn't know then was that every tear you shed watered the garden of your strength. You didn't just survive, you transformed. And now, while they sit in silence remembering, you are moving forward. Glowing, smiling, and attracting peace like never before. Because the one who hurt you ended up teaching you your greatest lesson. Never chase what's not ready for your love. So let them confess, let them cry, let them wish for what they lost. You, my child, owe no explanation. You have already fulfilled your purpose in their story. Your light continues to shine, not to remind them of what they lost, but to show yourself how far you've come. My child, months have passed since that night of confession, and yet, your name still lingers in their thoughts like a prayer they can't forget. They've tried everything, busy days, long drives, late-night distractions, but nothing fills the quiet that followed your departure. Because peace is not something they can chase anymore, it's something they once had and let go. They've begun to realize that the world feels different now. The colors are duller, the laughter shorter, and the joy, it never stays. Because deep down, they know that no matter where they go, they'll never find another soul that mirrored theirs so effortlessly. One evening, they met up with that same friend again. The friend could see the change immediately, the weight on their shoulders, the softness in their eyes. You're different, the friend said. They nodded slowly. I think losing them changed me. I used to take love lightly. Now, I see it sacred. You don't get many chances at something pure. My child, that's what divine lessons do. They leave a mark so deep that even the proudest hearts bow before truth. They continued, you know what's strange? I don't even want them back anymore. I just want them to know I understand now. That I finally see what they were trying to show me, what love was supposed to feel like. The friend smiled faintly. Maybe they already know. Some connections go beyond words. Your ex looked away, eyes glassy with emotion. I hope so. Because no matter how much time passes, they'll always be the one who taught me what real love feels like. I used to think love was about control, about winning. But it's about peace, and I broke that peace. My child, what they are feeling now is not punishment, it's awakening. The heart has a way of teaching lessons that words never could. Every tear they shed is a prayer for forgiveness they'll never be brave enough to ask for. They've begun to write letters they'll never send, messages they'll never deliver. In every word, they whisper what they couldn't say before: I'm sorry. You were right. You were love. They told their friend, I keep wondering if they ever knew how much I loved them, even if I never said it right. The friend sighed. They probably did. People like that always know. They just stop waiting to hear it. Those words stayed with them all night. And for the first time, they prayed, not for another chance, but for your happiness. They asked the universe to bless you, to protect you, to send you love the way you once sent it to them. My child, the cycle has come full circle. The one who once broke you has now been broken open, not by pain, but by realization. And that is how balance returns. They'll move through life carrying a quiet ache, a reminder of what they lost. But you will continue to rise. Because your heart has turned the pain into wisdom, and the loss into light. They will see you someday, maybe from a distance, maybe by chance, and when they do, they'll smile sadly, whispering, that's them, the one who loved me before I knew how to love myself. And you, my child, will walk by, glowing, unbothered, filled with peace. Because you don't need their words anymore. You don't need their confession. The universe already gave you closure through growth. So let them carry their lessons. Let them remember. Let them ache. That is their journey now. You, my child, are the proof that love can survive even after heartbreak, not as attachment, but as wisdom. You didn't lose. You transformed. And though they may still whisper your name into the night, the stars will answer back softly, they've moved on. They've healed. For what once ended in tears now blooms as strength. And the story that began with pain ends with peace, yours.